Still working. She came up last night. She's been here today, and she would love to talk to you guys.
Yes, thank you. And thank you to Lisa and Deb for hosting us last night. This has been a beautiful visit in Hot Springs Village. I feel like I got to sit on the lake and have my coffee this morning. It was awesome. And thank you to the Hot Springs Village Democrats, y'all. This room is incredible. So thank y'all for showing up. Not just tonight, but y'all always show up. I have seen it over the years as my husband and I have been running petitions and doing ballot initiatives, so thanks for your work. So I hear people say that a Democrat can't win statewide. Have y'all heard that? Who's heard that? Watch me. I'm done with that. That is just not true. We had breakfast this morning, thanks to my host, with a Republican. And it was such a great conversation. And he gave me a piece of advice that I want to give all of us right now. He said that Mike Huckabee had told him this, that it was his strategy a long time ago. And it's something that we talk about everywhere we go. He said it's just like throwing rocks in a pond. Y'all know what happens when you throw a rock in a pond, right? What does it make? It makes a ripple. Now, if you throw a bunch of rocks in a pond, what happens? You got a lot of ripples. And when those ripples connect, that's where the magic is. And that's what we've got to do right now. Because y'all, we have to build an army. That is what we have to do right now, is build an army. That's what it's going to take. Because we're not going to outraise them on money. We're not going to play dirty. None of us are. What we're going to do is raise up the people of Arkansas, and we are going to show them that a Democrat can win statewide, period. And right now, there has never been a more important time to have someone in this Secretary of State's office that will hold the line when we need to hold the line. When they're talking about federalizing our elections, when they're talking about coming down and taking over and doing things here that they have zero constitutional right to do, the person who holds that line is the Secretary of State. And I will stand right here in front of you tonight, and I will commit to you that I will hold the line, and I will fight for the people of Arkansas. I am running because I believe in the people of Arkansas, and I believe this election is about trust, and that's what we've got to go do, is build trust back in our system. That is my first order of business. Don't you tell me that our elections aren't secure without the data that supports that. Don't you tell me that. And I'm going to show the people of Arkansas that that is true. And if there's a problem, you know what we're going to do? We're going to go solve it, because that's what we do. But Washington can't come down here and take that from us. That's ours. Period. Now, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the guy that I'm running against, because it's real important, and then I want to talk about how we're going to win this, because there is a formula and it is real, y'all. I have seen it. So right now I have two opponents. That's a good thing, because in Arkansas we have a system called plurality, and a lot of people don't know this, but this is good for several of us. There's no runoff in a statewide election. The person who gets, if you've got a three-way race, which we have, several of us have libertarians in our mix. Y'all might be thinking, oh, that's terrible. No, that's a good thing. Because all we have to do is get the most votes. And a Democrat in Arkansas is going to carry 35, 36%, period. We do it every time. You can count on it, right? The Democrats are going to do that. And right now, the Democrats are mad. Y'all are mad too, I can feel it. And so that is real. We've just got to carry the most votes. And so You know what? There's going to be people who are mad at the GOP right now, and they won't vote for our Republican friends, but they also go, I can't vote for a Democrat. That's fine, vote for the Libertarian. That's great. We want the Libertarian to carry 10 or 12%. So that's good. It's all in our favor. The other guy who's running against me, we've got a good Libertarian candidate. The other guy who's running against me, his name is Senator Cam Hammer. Some of y'all have heard of him. He is a terming out senator who wrote the laws that were against direct democracy. 4 of them were deemed fully unconstitutional 2 weeks ago. Let me remind you, this is a constitutional office. It seems like you ought to have a pretty good handle on the Constitution if you're going to take that job. It's real important that we don't let that happen, y'all. So we have got to raise an army because they are coming after our rights. They're coming after our voting rights. They're coming after our ability to register people to vote. They're coming after our direct democracy rights. We are one of only 16 states in this great nation who have full authority as the people to write our own laws up to changing our Constitution. How many of y'all have carried petitions? I know y'all have. I know a bunch of you have. They're coming after that. In Arkansas, we have 4 branches of government. One of them is the people. And right now, it is time for the people to rise up. We can veto laws that our legislature makes, but the only way we can do that is if we do what?
Petition.
Build an army. We have to create the ripples. And it starts right here in this room. And I'm going to tell you right now, there is a real formula to win. So we've got the Libertarian in the mix, but we also have to get new people to the table. I was so excited tonight because last week we kicked off our college crew. We had about 30 young people that joined us on a call to kick off our college initiative. Hayden was one of them, so I didn't meet him till tonight. I didn't know he was coming. And Steve and I are going to have to sneak out along with Hayden at about 6:20 because we've got another call at 6:30 with them. They're meeting every week and they're organizing. And you know what they're organizing for? Not Kelly, not Russ, not Hallie, not Tim, not Deb. They're organizing for themselves. Right now, that is so important. Our power is inherent in the people. Our Constitution says the power is inherent in the people. If you'll take my little fold-over card, you'll see it there. That is in our Constitution. That only matters if we gather enough power. Again, we got to create the ripples. We got to raise the army. My goal is to register 50,000 new voters. That's not just a Kelly goal. We are all working that. And I'll tell you right now, we haven't released the numbers because I still need to validate them and make sure they're exactly right. But we are ahead of pace. And you think 50,000 is a lot. If we are all doing this together, it happens. I'm going to ask every single one of you in this room to go to your county clerk's office and get a stack of voter registration forms. I have this slogan in my campaign, ABC, always be campaigning. I never leave a retail store, I never leave a restaurant, I never leave a drive-thru, and we're going through a lot of drive-thrus right now, without asking someone if they are registered to vote. And my poor husband, we're late for everything. Because I tell them, and Hayden can attest to this, there are more people under 50 eligible to vote in Arkansas than over 50 right now. You know who votes? All us old people. The time is now for us to hand over the reins and let the young people take over. I believe they're ready, they are qualified, and we've just got to get them registered to vote. So now is the time to do that. So that is a big piece of the formula. We also have to get Democrats out to vote, y'all. We have a 30% drop-off between a presidential and a midterm election. The way we do that is by creating those ripples. We've got to throw out the rocks. We've got to talk to our friends. And I'm not asking you to go talk to the people in the MAGA rooms. I'm going to do that for you. All of us, we're going to go do that for you. We need you to go activate your friends. Even if y'all don't talk politics anymore because it's gotten too ugly. Talk to them about the importance of this election, because there's never been an election more important than this one we're about to have in November. I don't know what will happen. We have got to take it back right now. So please go talk to your friends, five people, just 5 people that you know, that trust you, that will believe you when you say this election's important. We can't get to every place, and this is eyeball to eyeball politics. Y'all can help us build that army to get there and create those ripples. The last thing we've got to go do is we are going to pick off Republican votes, and I feel so good about that. Steve says, don't stand up there and say we can take more than 10 or 12%. I believe we're going to take 20%. I really do, and I'm an optimist, so I'll give you that. But we are going to every single Republican room that I can find on Facebook or Instagram or anything else. If I see a fish fry or a pie auction or a spaghetti supper, I am showing up at the veterans halls, at the fire stations, because that's where the votes are. And like Russ said, in a lot of places, they hadn't seen a candidate in a long time, 10 or 15 years. All we got to do is show up. I had somebody the other day that said, it was somebody in Yellville, and I had been there for a meet and greet, random meet and greet, and they said, well, I hadn't gotten to meet Kelly, but she came to Yellville, so I'm going to vote for her, Republican. We went to a pie auction in North Central Arkansas. We walked in, and y'all, this town has 150 people in it, and there were 200 people in the room. It was a Republican candidate forum. Well, it was a candidate forum, and there were no Democrats there but Kelly. And so I made a pretty good speech. I felt real good about it, and I thought, well, I picked up votes. You know, I had a little fight with the county judge, Republican candidate, and I was at $80 for a pie. He was like, $100, the Democrat can't win that. And I was like, the Democrat ain't got no money, you take the pie. And everybody loved it. But I thought, I picked up votes. 2 weeks later, we came back, and it was in another town, same county, different group of people. Still, 150 people in the room. It's crazy, these little towns, everybody shows up at the EH Club. And I did my speech, one of my opponents did their speech. We went to the back of the room, and this woman comes up to me, very prominent Republican, and she was like, Kelly, I heard your speech a couple weeks ago. I also heard your opponent, and I've decided I want to vote for you, but my friends had some questions for you. And she literally, because she told her friends, she was like, we need to vote for Kelly, and they were like, we got some questions. She literally pulled her notebook out of her purse with 2 questions on it. The first was basically, was I Christian? I had not led with that at that forum. It's not something, you know, I believe in separation of church and state, but that was important. So I told her I'm a Christian. I was on the board of trustees at my church, all that. And I checked that box. She was like, okay. And then she started talking about lithium, like one of my opponents had started talking about lithium and how they were gonna bring in big money and make us like Texas. And she was like, we don't wanna be like Texas. And I said, well, first of all, that's not the job of the Secretary of State, so I can promise you I'm not going to do that. And second of all, you're in charge. It's your county. And she looked at me and she said, okay, I'll go back and talk to him. And I believe that I'm going to get those votes. And it is happening everywhere we go. I've got MAGA people who are making donations to me, because right now there's a whole bunch of Republicans who believe the same things we do about our democracy. They believe we need to secure elections. They believe that they need to know their signature counts on a petition, and they believe in our country, and they're tearing apart our country. And we've got to bring people back together. I'll tell you one last story, and then I'm going to wrap it up. We were in a little cafe in North Arkansas, and I was talking to an 18-year-old. She had just registered to vote and voted for the first time in the primary. And she said, Kelly, I don't want to tell anybody what I think I am, whether I'm a Democrat or Republican, because no matter what I say, somebody is going to hate me. That's not the world I want to be in. It's just not. And I'm running to take the politics out of this office. You should know that whether you're a Democrat or a Republican or an independent or a libertarian, that your vote counts and that you can trust our government. And that's the number one order of business. Our state motto, you'll see it on my shirt, Regnum Populus. This is my husband, Regnum Populus. That's Latin for the people rule. I believe that down deep in my soul. I am committed to making sure that the people's voice is heard. And there's never been a more important time than right now. So I want to say thank you in advance, because we're going to do some work together. We're going to create some ripples, and we're going to build this army, y'all, and we're going to come in from nowhere, and they're not going to know what hit them. I look forward to working alongside you. Yes, we need your money. I'm going to say the Hot Springs Village Democrats need your money, because y'all are doing serious work here. And so keep contributing locally. I'll take everything you've got extra. But let's put your money where the work is happening, because right now we have got to do this, and it starts one person at a time when we throw that rock in the water and we create the ripples. And when we connect them all together, y'all, it's magic. And I can't wait to win this with you.